must ban them now. Not one more automobile death on the highways. I mean, it's obscene to blame gun owners for this. I'll tell you who it's not obscene to blame. It says on the inserts of the psychotropics and the amphetamine drugs they're giving our kids that it can make you go totally insane, have megalomania, murder people, you name it. And it's the California sick plastic culture and the pharmacological psychiatric system that kills your son more than anything. But at the end of the day, he was killed by a plastic, mentally ill monster, Mr. Martinez, not by Alex Jones. And again, at a very core level, I find it very offensive that this meme is being put out everywhere. That when something happens, it's our fault. And we've gotten to the point where you can't say the word girl. And whatever happens in England ends up happening here. And people say, it's asinine to say you can't dress up like a cowboy at the party because that's against rural workers. Or it's asinine to say you can't dress up like a pirate or a geisha girl. Of course, dressing up like a geisha girl isn't putting down Japanese. It's the fun of the party. How are you going to dress? Everyone knows that instinctively. So you say, oh, that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's authoritarianism. It's a cult takeover. I want to play a clip of who killed the people. The wind-up toy monster created by this sick, unhealthy, unnatural, modern pharmakia society. If you want to know where the blame lies, it lies with the Hollywood director parents and the system that gave them the fake moral authority to institutionalize their son from age 8 so that he was completely screwed up. And then the modern corrupt Hollywood culture behind it of death and people like Bill Maher saying, I want more death, more killings, more suicide. All these so-called liberals love death. All they talk about is death because they're a bunch of spoiled sicko brats at the end of a decadent cycle before our society collapses. Let's play this clip.
Well, now I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I'll be a god, exacting my retribution on all those who deserve it. And you do deserve it.
Notice that he's a god because he's going to have a gun, and he's going to go into a victim disarmament zone in California with a bunch of trendies who would never have a gun, and he's going to kill them because they're animals because they can't defend themselves. He's a god with that gun. Well, I'm not a god, I'm just a man. But I need guns to protect myself from out-of-control government, out-of-control institutions. Now, one of the TV end producers here, graphics guys, Joe Jennings, who works here in the office, does a great job the last 4 or 5 months, one of our new hires, he heard me talking about what Luvox and Ritalin and Adderall, you know, both the Prozac-type drugs and the speeds do to kids. And he was just describing during the earlier break what it did to him. So I thought we'd let him give you some of his testimony since he was had the courage to come on air. Joe Jennings, fellow info warrior, just briefly tell folks your experience with these drugs.
Well, I was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age in California. And, you know, I was just a very vibrant child.
Most mammals are. Most juvenile mammals jump around and do yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
I was loud. I was being a kid. So they prescribed Ritalin for me to help me focus in school and focus on my mental stability.
Because it will burn you out after about a month.
Yeah. As soon as they put it on, they put me on Ritalin. As soon as they put it on it, my teachers in class call my parents up and go, there's something wrong with your child now. Before he was vibrant and social and on. Now he's like a zombie who doesn't do anything. He just sits there in his own world. And my parents went, wait, there's something wrong with this. So
that's because they were extremists.
Yeah.
Why didn't they trust the state? I mean, that's what Obama and Kerry, they all just say, keep the faith. They even use that term. Why don't you want to worship the state, brother?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just...
do you want to say it's your fault that people died in California? Are you a gun owner?
You know, I'm not a gun owner, but, you know, it probably was my fault because I let people get put on these Ritalin drugs and stuff like that. You know,
I guess in a way we are all guilty for this society.
We're okaying this. We're okaying numbing our children and completely taking their identity.
So what happened? Did you get off of it?
No, they prescribed me Dexedrine to bring me back up. So they put me on Ritalin, and then they put me on Dexedrine as a combo to level me out.
How was that?
Horrible. You know, I was still numb. It's just I had energy now. So after a while, we just completely...
Do you know what speed does of all types to fast-growing brain cells?
No, I don't.
It's not good. You know, they used to spray paint in the 60s and 70s, speed kills on the highway.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it was horrible. As a child, you know, I got put into counselors and all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. And, oh, well, let's just give him more medication. Let's just do that.
That's the plan. That's the system. And it's destroying our whole society. Will we turn back? No, because it's racist. We must do what the government says or we're racist.
When the day comes where the world changes forever, you can be ready at a moment's notice. With Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's completely mobile and ready to go. All the comforts of an RV, but custom built to outlast any other trailer. Learn more at survivalistcamps.com. Due to overwhelming response, limited inventory is available. Be ready with survivalistcamps.com. Survivalist Camps, providing your basic needs to survive.
With the globalists making more and more advances into our freedoms every day and ruining our healthcare system, it's important to be able to take back control of our own personal healthcare. Colloidal silver water even fights against the new designer bugs. The best prices found anywhere, along with the highest quality. That's why you'll love silver creams and water from colloidalresearch.com. Silver's been used for thousands of years to fight against germs and bacteria because it works. Check it out for yourself at colloidalresearch.com. That's colloidalresearch.com.
Time and time again.
You need to come here and help us. We need assistance, please.
Those we should be able to depend on let us down.
Federal and state and local officials saying help is on the way. Well, the folks here in Bell Harbor say, show me.
Don't depend on the government to save you. Take action now so that you're prepared for the next disaster with MyPatriotSupply.com. Get the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Call 866-229-0927.
We are hurting down here, and we need help immediately.
Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Gentlemen, in search of $1 million smile that'll make them take notice, really get their attention? Then get the mud. My Magic Mud. The fluoride-free whitener with no chemicals, additives, GMOs, or bad taste. And safe to swallow. My Magic Mud detoxifies, reduces sensitivity, cleans and strengthens your teeth while it whitens. Comes as a powder for pure whitening power. Start looking good for that special someone. Get the mud now. MyMagicMud.com.
How can you save a ton of money and prepare for emergencies? By having your own in-home freeze dryer from Harvest Right. Now you can cut down on wasted food by freeze drying your leftovers. That's right. Create your own long-term food storage by freeze drying your own fruits, meats, vegetables, even complete meals with the Harvest Right in-home freeze dryer. Imagine the savings and the peace of mind. See how the amazing Harvest Right freeze dryer works at harvestright.com.
How much worse does it have to get? We know the system's killing us. I talk to people in the system, social workers, cops, you name it, they know it's bad. This is a military operation, a globalist mind control operation against the population. They now admit that. They say the CIA domestically engages in psyops through the news against the American people. They've been doing it since the 40s, but now they legalized it this year. It'd been illegal before. They said, oh, it's legal now to lie to you and run psyops against you. And the goal is to get the public on drugs, illegal and legal. And the big banks launder the money. Joe, how did it all end when they put you on multiple drugs when you were a child?
Well, finally, after, years, I just couldn't, my parents couldn't justify doing this to their child.
So they remembered that you were better before they put you into the soft kill grid?
Yes. And they said, but...
You were all queued up to be completely destroyed, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they'd have you at your age today on 15 drugs.
Oh, yeah. They would have tried it all. I mean, Zolofts, they would have whatever, just to alter my mood because I was too energetic. I was too...
Racist.
Maybe I was.
Thought crime.
Yeah. I always questioned when I went to church. I always questioned.
Oh, just please don't do that. Now that's illegal. So how did it all end?
They finally took me off of them, and I just, as I started becoming older, I didn't need it anymore. My thought patterns were leveled out, I guess.
Well, that's why they want to get you when you're young, so they can screw you up as early as possible. But see, you were able, because of high intelligence, to get over it. Most people they do that to end up being institutionalized. And I saw a statistic a few years ago. You're 4 times more likely. The feds even admit this. People can pull this up. I don't remember the exact study, but there's been multiple studies that when you've been put on psychotropics or Luvox or the Adderall and stuff, you're 4 times more likely to end up on illegal drugs. It totally primes you to want pharmakia.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, what do drug dealers do? They start kids young.
Yeah. I mean, in the high school, what most high school students would do back then.
Well, there's a huge black market now and people grinding up their Adderall and their Ritalin, people snorting it.
And that's what I hear. And I go, why would you do that? Because
they also smoke the serotonin reuptake inhibitors. That's hallucinogenic.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing was, Ritalin, when people say that they snort it and do it, and Ritalin worked reversal on me. It mellowed me out to a point, which was kind of weird. That's why they gave me the Dexedrine to bring me back up. Now, when I hear about these kids doing Ritalin, I said, well, why would you do that? You're going to go to sleep. No, it's an upper for them.
Well, I mean, it does work on some people to settle them down, but what you don't want was the red dyes, the chemicals. Just last week, another study came out that it was the fertilizers doing it on kids in the fruits and vegetables. You were aware of that.
Yeah.
But more importantly, they admit that the chemicals in the bisphenol A, was affecting reproduction and was affecting mood. They're drugging us through the packaging on purpose. That's what the White House science czar said 40 years ago.
Yeah, but they forget about, stuff that's genetic. And, my brother, his child has supposedly ADHD, and he wants to put her on Adderall. And I said, no, do not do that. There's nothing wrong with her.
Did he get her off of it?
Yes. He finally got her.
We sacrifice our children on the altar of these screwed up schools. I'd rather my kid be an artist and not make any money and just be happy than be screwed up on a bunch of drugs. Joe, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate you telling the story. You turned into a great guy, so I'm glad you got off of it. We all went through stuff when we were a kid, and you can always reverse it, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not too far down the line. Briefly, speaking of health, Survival Shield Nation Iodine is totally proprietary. It's how we fund our operation as well, InfoWarsLife.com. Look at this article from Newsmax, quoting a bunch of scientific studies. Here's the headline. Pregnant women should take iodine supplement, documents show. Massive increases in birth defects and problems because people are not getting iodine in North America. We have the best, InfoWarsLife.com. Life-changing for me. Weight loss, my glands, you name it, life-changing. What it's done, we've got it discounted right now, Survival Shield Nation Iodine, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. Shop with the good guys. Fund the tip of the spear in the Info War. Thank you for your support.
Visit GCNlive.com.
Second hour, tons of news. Your call's coming up. Stay with us. Get ready. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.